You are listening to an entertainment program put together by a company called Financial Ineptitude. Anything said on this show is not an endorsement or professional advice. Would you really want to tell a court of law you were suing us because you thought taking financial advice from two idiots on a podcast put out by Financial Ineptitude was a good idea? Really? Clown hat, smiley face.
Hello and welcome to the China Shop. I'm Shopkeeper Dan. With me as always is Kyle, creator of financialineptitude.com. How you doing today, Kyle?
Doing good. Ready to get this thing on the road?
Start the show already. Let's get on with it.
Right?
Oh, yeah. Big week. Crazy week. Still, the market's still messing with my head. I don't know about yours.
I think I've finally got my expectations reset, or at least close enough to start making moves again. I had been doing more paper trading type stuff lately, trying to get over that expectation of stocks just double in a couple days, right? That's just how it works.
That sounds reasonable.
No, it's not.
Come on into the shop today with us, folks. Sit back, relax, hedge against the rage machine. We'd like to welcome any new listeners just joining us. If it's your first time here, just like to let you know that we're all here smashing around the China Shop, sharing our ever-growing strategies for trying to maximize gains and cut your losses. And I think today we've got a really lovely, romantic, tingling show for you.
Oh, yeah, it is Valentine's Day, isn't it?
It
tomorrow
is coming right up. Valentine's Day. What do you get the stock you love? More shares, of course.
My question is, does it love me or love me not? Lately, not.
Let's see. Virgin Galactic, do you love me? Let me count the dollars. Yeah, we got lots of market-moving news. Plenty of stocks on the radar. And more options than a werewolf on Jupiter.
What?
Too sciencey? Too sciencey?
Is that a movie I missed?
No. Jupiter's got like 50-some moons. So if you're a werewolf on Jupiter.
All right.
Okay, too sciencey.
How about more contemporary? We've got a lot of European listeners now. How about more options than German war fronts?
Yes. All right, we'll go with that one. And folks, we love it when you reach out to us. We just adore your messages, comments on Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Discord, wherever you can find us. If you're old school, just send an email to twobulls@financialineptitude.com, or you can give us a phone call, 725-22-BULLS. We listen to the messages. We answer your questions here on the show. Hit us up. Maybe you got a hot stock tip. Maybe you need a hot stock tip. Maybe you just want to tell us about your weird toe fungus. I don't care. Reach out. It doesn't matter. We just love you and we love hearing from you.
Maybe you want to console me.
Maybe you want to console Kyle.
I would take some of that.
Well, speaking of reasons to console you, Kyle, I believe we're right up here on going over the bet results.
I guess I get to go first again.
All
right. So if you remember, I was making an earnings play into a space bet. So I took Take Two. It closed on Monday, right before they released their earnings at 213.34.
Kyle, you know that was a paper trade. That wasn't your bet. Come on now.
Really? Okay. How about you? I'm sending you the audio file. Why don't you listen to it for yourself? Go into your email.
Okay. All right. Oh, I do. The file is titled Raw Unedited Bet Audio. So, that seems kosher. Let's take a listen to that.
I want to throw this on record because you remember the convoluted plan I had when Logitech reported their earnings. I was contemplating the same thing with Take Two. I was going to sell it on Monday, just at close, Take Two, buying it back the next morning and then moving it into space.
Oh.
I'm going to do that, but that's what I contemplated it. I don't want to make it too complicated because I have to go back through and try to figure this all out on paper. But if it works, I want to be able to say, look how smart I am. And if it doesn't work, then I can say, look, I shouldn't have done that.
Yep. So that seems legit.
Obvious, that's what I did, right?
Who am I to argue with with the record? I mean, it's right there.
I think maybe somebody's regretting giving some editing lessons to this guy over here.
Yeah, who taught you how to edit?
All right, for real. Space opened Monday, $55.99. Closed at $54.53. So my total went from $450.47 down to $438.72.
and is infuriating because it jumped up to almost 60 after they reported that their flight window is opening up this weekend, which is what I was excited about. That's what I've been waiting for. So it looked like they were going to be flying on Saturday, today. And then Friday morning, they came out and said, no, we need more time. We're not going to fly this weekend. And the stock promptly fell again.
It did. I was sweating it too, because I was watching. I had that on my watch list, and I was like, "Damn! Oh, he's gonna catch up. This thing's just gonna." But no, here we are.
If I would have actually made that play with Take Two that I talked about there, I would have added another 5%. So I mean, I still would have been sitting at about 450, I think. So it didn't really make much difference. How did you do?
Oh, yeah. I picked Maine, the financial capital company. They don't have a ton of volume, so I started to sweat at the beginning of the week as it drifted down. It opened at 33.55, was drifting down, but it did turn around in the middle of the week and ended up at 34.44 for a modest few percentage point gains. But it does bring my total up to last week I was at $562.80. Now I'm at $577.73.
Has anyone broken 600 this since we started this bet?
I thought you did in December.
That included a side bet though, didn't it?
Oh, it did. Okay.
Yeah, you might be the first to break 600 with no side bets in a month. Our random was on pace to do the same, but it didn't fare quite so well this week. It was Kirk, Kirk, opened at 28.35, finished on Friday at 25.89. So its previous total of 583 and 18 cents is now down to 532.58. It's still beating me by almost $100, but it gave me a window to try to get back into it. I just flubbed it.
I'm just happy that it fell below where I'm at.
Yeah.
And I would like to point out, I did look at the momentum of that stock, and I managed to call it last Friday when we looked at it. I said, no, we don't need to worry. That's about to deflate. That feels good. That honestly, to me, that feels as good as making a successful trade. Looking at a stock, looking at its chart, saying, this is the direction it's going. If only I was as accurate with my own trades.
I know, right?
Okay. So stay tuned to the end of the episode, folks. We got another fun bet going on, and we'll go over that. But before then, I think it's time to get on some news.
Let's do it.
Well, it's all for the money. Tune to the show. Need a good story so my margin grows. Or won't you listen to all our news? You might learn some things with the China Shop Market News.
So I want to just start this off by kind of going over I guess we already talked about the space thing.
A little bit.
I guess what we can say is, okay, so they pushed back the test flight. They haven't announced necessarily when it's going to be next, but they have windows all throughout February. So this flight is going to be coming soon. They just don't really know yet. I'm hoping that it happens next week, but I'm not sure if I want to just hold space until the end of the month, because that feels like, I don't know, just lame.
Hey, listen, we've been through this before. We know how this story turns out. They sink based on this news, and then they go right back to going up because they are this company developing this fantastic space operation that they have going on.
Yes. The other thing that kind of hurt space, too, that didn't mention when we were talking about the bet, was that they actually got downgraded, too, from overweight to hold. With, what was it? They bumped their price target up. God, what was it? I think they moved it up to about 52 or 55. But they also reduced its overweight rating. So that was just had too many things going against it for me last week. But that also means I think now's a good time to buy some more.
Yes, that's what I'm saying, is buy that dip.
What do you got for news?
So I think the news story that I'm most emotionally connected to is the big Tilray event this week. Tilray had some short interest and was getting some Reddit buzz. So, of course, the news articles all say its giant squeeze upward was retail related.
I don't know that I agree with that. I think people are keying in on what retail's talking about. There's a lot of programs now that are kind of combing through Wall Street bets, but I still think it's the major players that are moving these stocks up and down.
Tilray saw at the beginning of the week just incredible gains. I think it was like around 20 or 30. It shot up near 100. I don't remember the exact numbers because I wasn't actually trading Tilray. I was trading MJ, the ETF that has some Tilray holdings.
Yeah.
So we saw this huge jump up and this huge fall down. And I was expecting the fall to be on Friday and not on Thursday pre-market.
Yeah.
That was a big newsworthy event. And like you said, like the news articles are all like, oh, it's the retail, but I think it's institutional money playing on what retail's talking about. I agree with you.
Well, then the news stories just only add to it, and they just create frenzies from people who see that.
I actually get an email update from Quiver Quantitative, a website that we found a while back.
Mm-hmm.
They have a bot, an AI bot that searches through Wall Street bets and then compiles stock mentions.
I think I remember seeing that.
Yeah, I've been getting an email that tells me every day the top 10 stocks that are mentioned, how many mentions, and whether it's more or less mentions from the day or the week before.
Mm-hmm.
That's been pretty fun.
The pot industry is one legislation announcement away from just skyrocketing.
Oh, that is true.
Yeah,
that is true. We'll see if we can get there.
I thought there was some mentions. I don't know if it was last week or the week before about people trying to bring that up to the Senate to vote on it, or there was plans. I thought one senator had mentioned that they were trying to bring that discussion back up in Congress.
I don't remember the senator's name. I saw an article about that too. But there's so much going on in Congress, and they're notoriously slow.
Oh, yeah.
I honestly, I'll be surprised if we get there before the summer. I think it's going to take till like the summer or the fall before they get around to something like that.
I think we need to check that Quiver Quantitative. We need to check on there because that shows you what all the congressmen are doing. We need to see if they started opening up positions in marijuana too.
Yeah, all right. We're definitely going to have to put a link to Quiver Quantitative at the end of this episode.
Yes.
I'm going to make a note right here.
Put it in the description. Because
they do have some good data like that. They not only are they like crawling through Reddit for stock mentions, but they'll tell you what senators and congressmen are trading.
Yep.
So yeah, we see a bunch of senators moving in on marijuana. We know it's happening.
Yeah, no shit.
What other stories do you have for us, Kyle?
IIVI, one of our pick'em stocks, just popped up in the news Friday afternoon. Stock was doing really well lately. It'd been running up to almost $100 a share. Then it dipped down below 90 on this news that it submitted a bid to acquire Coherent basically at $260 a share, which is about a 24% premium over top of the implied value of this company, and 10% over the best offer that they were getting from MKS Instruments. So it's kind of interesting. So it looks like this company Coherent had a couple different offers from two other companies, and then IIVI just kind of came out of nowhere and threw another one in over top, basically outbidding everybody else. But as we see when a company overpays for another one to try to acquire it, because they're using their stock price as currency. Obviously, it's going to affect their price. So IIVI has dropped down below 90 now. No real word yet on whether this bid is being accepted, or I don't even know if it's even been considered yet. But I don't know. Interesting. It could be a buy opportunity here. If that company doesn't get bought, I'm not sure if they don't agree to the actual merger or acquisition terms, I don't know what happens to the share price. Does it immediately shoot back up again? I mean, you think it should.
You would think.
But as we all know, the market's a fickle thing. People may be upset that the move that they were not happy to pay a premium for didn't happen and sell even more shares. So who knows what it does. One of the neat things, though, about this prospective merger is that it looks like there's not a whole lot of overlap between the two companies' businesses. So that should make it better as far as how to word that. Without the overlap, there won't be as much redundancy, so they won't have to streamline or what's the word for making it efficient?
Basically, they're expanding the scope of their business, not their market base.
Right. They're not acquiring a competitor necessarily. They're basically opening up new markets for themselves.
That's usually a good move.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, all of the stocks we've been watching where we've seen an acquisition announced, there's been a drop, and that drop has just been a good buying opportunity.
My bet on Salesforce is kind of following that timeline. Mm-hmm. Get it after it drops from the acquisition news, and then try to hold it and take advantage of when it inevitably realizes the benefits of that pairing.
I came across a fun, interesting article. We're real big on electric vehicles here in the China shop, and it seems Warren Buffett has made another EV move. This is his second big move that I can find on record. Berkshire Hathaway, one of their units, Forest River, announced that they're buying a bunch of buses from Green Power Motor, like 150 cabs and chassis they're going to use in new all-electric offerings sold by Forest River. Forest River being the subsidiary of Berkshire Hathaway.
Okay, so they're not developing anything; they're just buying and outfitting.
Yeah, their company is buying a whole bunch of electric buses from Green Power, and I guess they're going to deliver them next year, which of course pushed Green River stock up a little bit.
I bet. What was the Buffett's other investment? Because he had another startup, EV startup, that he was invested in.
The automaker BYD, it's a Chinese battery EV company that Berkshire owns 21% of.
BYD, that was the one.
BYD, yeah.
Actually, BYD is Boyd Gaming Corporation. What's the actual ticker?
I don't know, because it's on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange.
Okay. Oh, that's right. Yeah, okay. That's why I remember it, because it was one of the competitors to NIO. Like, NIO's getting all this news, but Warren Buffett's similar deal's not getting any love, really. All right. Well, speaking of EVs, did you see Tesla adding $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin?
Oh, wow. Yeah. That's some big news. And apparently, they're going to start letting people buy a Tesla with their Bitcoin now.
Which is brilliant on their part. I mean, how many people do you see in those, Reddit forums saying that they're buying Tesla with their Bitcoin?
Yeah, I even joked about it on the show. If you recall, I joked, yeah, you could buy a Tesla with one Bitcoin.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Maybe Elon's listening to the show. Hi, Mr. Musk. We love you. Give us a shout out.
That's been driving the price of Bitcoin right back up. You remember it took a bit of a hit for a while there.
Today, as we are talking, Bitcoin is at $46,964.
Yep. So, definitely came right back.
It dipped down to about 30,000. Yeah, 30,417 was its low on January 27th. I believe we were talking about it. There was some supposition that people were spending the same Bitcoin twice.
That was not true, also, by the way. Make sure we put that out there.
It was not true. And yeah, so we've seen, that's a 50% gain in a couple weeks. So Bitcoin is just, it's on fire right now.
Tesla being one of the first ones here, but it sounds like a lot of other companies are looking to make purchases. I think Apple was even announcing that they were going to make a purchase too. The more of these institutions that get involved in Bitcoin, the less likely those 85% drops that it used to be susceptible to.
Volatility goes down.
Away. Yeah, but I think that actually kind of leads us into this week's poll question, and I'll get posted on Twitter after this episode goes live. But I'd like to ask the listeners out there, which cryptocurrency do you think has the brightest future? Bitcoin, Ethereum, Dogecoin, the one that Musk seems to really like also. There's also the one that you like, Chia, that's coming out soon.
Chia,
I think we mentioned in our
guest Sean turned us onto that.
Let's vote on that, and we'll talk about those results next week.
We'll let you know.
You had some other GameStop news that maybe you want to go over before we wrap up with that?
I'm sure everybody's aware. They're doing big investigations. They're issuing subpoenas to some of these Reddit folk, like Deep Fucking Value. They're gonna have big hearings, and I'm sure they'll have cameras, and we'll hear all about them. And they're gonna try and get to the bottom of if anybody did anything illegal during the whole debacle. So we'll see what happens. But I don't want to spend too much time talking about that. I'm trying to emotionally get closure and move on,
Yeah, so tomorrow we'll probably be talking about it a lot more when we do our guest interview tomorrow with George Papazov. So we won't spend too much time on it today, but we will wrap up here this segment with the Twitter poll, the results. We asked last week if everyone thought Robinhood could recover from the way they imposed their restrictions. 63% of the responders said no, the IPO is done. And then people were split 50-50, whether yes, people forget, or unsure. So a large percent of people are unhappy with Robinhood, as we already knew.
Right, as we well knew.
All right, let's move on to some stocks.
Just put those stock tickers on the list. Go through the charts so nothing gets missed. Today's trades, they could all turn to gold. I'm playing stocks till I'm out of the hole.
Yeah, get those stock tickers on the list. Check the charts so nothing gets missed, Kyle. I understand you made a lot of moves in stocks this week.
No, I made 0 stock moves. I made 1 options trade, and we'll talk about when we get to that segment. But I did most of my stuff on paper again, trying to pick and choose my spots, making sure that I still have, what it takes.
The Midas touch?
Yes. And I made a couple of good calls on paper. Didn't take advantage of them, with any cash. But that's part of that was by design. I had to do something to regain my confidence, as everyone knows, listening.
Yeah,
it's been at an all-time low the last couple weeks. Slowly recovering, but the prediction I made with Take Two was really good for me to see. I was glad to see that I made the right call there. Selling short on that right before their earnings were released was absolutely the right move. And then Sono was another one I was watching. That's one I had singled out. I'd made a play with them the last earnings call they had, and my belief in them was rewarded again. I do actually have a position still in Sono, so I was happy that I didn't sell it, but I did not add to it. But both of those definitely boosted my confidence. I got some stuff on the radar that I want to talk about, but I'll let you go first, and then I'll use that to segue into earnings.
So my long positions that I talked about moving into, I of course had MJ, which is still up, although it was a roller coaster. And part of me was looking at it thinking, this is going to dip. I think I even sent you a message at one point and was like, I'm going to move out of MJ try and hit the peak and short them. Mm-hmm. But I didn't, because I thought that was happening Friday, and it happened pre-market Thursday. So I got caught unprepared. I bought my MJ. I bought back into MJ at 23.50 and saw it, it pushed 30 and then drop back down. Now it's around 25.
Yeah.
So that's still up, but that's a long position, and I really shouldn't be trying to play moving out and shorting it. I'm trying to keep my long positions with that Dragon D&D mentality of like, this is my hoard. I'm not letting any shares go. I'm only going to acquire new shares. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to keep that theory going. The only thing I moved out of long term was TQQQ, which was up for the week. I moved out of it because I'm playing with some new stock screeners, and I didn't want to sell my options to free up the cash to do it. So I thought the NASDAQ, I've been watching it for about 6 months now every day. I'm watching longer than that, but like looking at it, watching it every trading day for about 6 months, it usually has some pullback after a good solid run. So I moved out of that to move into a few new companies. Longtime listeners will know I try to run a list every day of companies that hit new 52-week highs, right? And keep track of like consecutive highs. And I've gotten a few good finds out of there, like Neo. I didn't come across Neo because I was on Reddit or I was reading about it. No, I was running these lists and was like, look at this stock. It keeps hitting new highs.
We found quite a few on that.
I have. And I've been really kicking myself because I haven't had the wherewithal to keep up on the list the last few weeks. I've been running them and like looking at them, but I haven't been keeping track of consecutive ones. So, I'm feeling pretty guilty about that. But I'm in the process of programming a Python script to do it for me. So it'll be back. So anyway, I moved out of one of my long-term positions because I did run a new stock screener. Started running a screener so I want it to hit a new 52-week high, and then I want to see the MACD cross, which is something I rediscovered. I had watched this seminar years ago, and then it popped into my head the last couple of weeks, like, hey, remember that guy talking about a MACD cross was a buy and sell signal? Because my problem is timing. I'm very bad with the timing. I can make the call and say, well, this is what's going to happen, but I don't get the timing right. So I'm looking for something to help me with that. And I was like, oh my goodness, the MACD cross. The MACD is an indicator that keeps track of where the price was today, 25 days ago, and 9 days ago. And it creates this little this graph of two lines. So you've got your 25-day moving average and your 9-day moving average, right?
Right.
And when the two lines cross, I believe it's when the 9-day crosses the 25-day upwards, they consider it a buy signal. And when it crosses it downwards, it's a sell signal. And looking at the stocks I've been looking at, I pulled that up and I was like, wow, no, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Most of the time when I'm seeing that happen, that would be a good time to buy in. So I started running in the new screener that's showing me 52-week highs, along with above average or heavy volume, and a cross from a negative to a positive MACD line. Thursday after market is when I first ran it, and I picked up two companies, RFP and BW. I forget what BW does. RFP is like some paper product Canadian company. And of those two, RFP is moved up 5.5% on Friday. BW actually ended up moving down like 3 or 4%. So
is that Buffalo? That's not Buffalo Wild Wings, is it?
No.
Okay.
No.
Babcock and Wilcox. Ugh. Yeah, that's a mouthful.
When I ran that screener on Friday, I saw two companies that I'm familiar with pop up. TXG, which was on our pick'em list for a while, 10X Genomics, and MU, which is a semiconductor company that was hitting all new highs in the winter. And longtime listeners, if you've been on the website on November 11th, I know because I went and looked it up last night. I wrote my first article on semiconductor industry sector being hot because so many semiconductor companies were showing up on my 52-week high lists. I wrote it down in the Discord. I actually had the numbers. I'm just going to give you the rough numbers. It was trading at 380 something in November, and now it's like 680 something.
Yeah.
So the ETF SOXL was trading in 380 something, and that's the one that I said was one of my favorites in that article. Yeah. So anyway, like way back when I was looking at semiconductors, I'd been seeing MU. And so as to see them hitting a new 52-week high, and they just had a MACD cross, made me feel like, okay, I'm going to move out of my NASDAQ TQQQ long terms, and I'm going to put it in this MU and see what happens. And if I time it right, I'll grow it in MU and then move it back into NASDAQ on a dip. And that's my stock trades.
I'm looking at February 11th. I got MU pulled up here, just taking a look at them. Looks like a lot of the semiconductor industries are trading higher because there's a big global shortage in chips.
Yep, which we've been talking about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with Ford having to shut down some of their plants because of it.
Yeah, and it is my theory that if you can't sell enough chips to the market, your business is doing pretty good.
Well, usually that means prices are going to start going up. That whole supply and demand thing, right?
Profit will go up. So I'm feeling pretty good about moving into MU on Friday. And I'm feeling good about RFP. And because Friday I did move out of BW before they dropped that far. I was like, oh, these guys, this isn't working. They're staying down for the day. So I shifted all that money over into RFP. So I'm watching 3 stocks based on new highs and MACD signals, RFP, TXG, and MU. All
right. Well, I have a few stocks that are on my radar for next week. The 3 main ones are going to be PLTR, Palantir, QS, QuantumScape, and Sabre, SABR. All these have earnings coming up, and I'll hit those when we just go through the highlights here in a minute. But I think all 3 of those have got potential to make some kind of play with them as far as the earnings coming out. QuantumScape, if you remember that one back in December, it like spiked up to like 135 for like no reason, and then just dropped back down.
Oh yeah.
Seems like it finally found its support somewhere around like the mid 40s, and then just recently somebody came through. Morgan Stanley, I think it was, rated them as overweight. They initiated coverage and then gave them a $70 price target.
Oh, yeah.
Combining that with their earnings coming up on Tuesday, I'm looking at them to see if maybe they're going to pop once those come out. Palantir has just been another favorite as far as the Reddit community goes. It's been kind of depressed a little bit, so maybe some positive earnings will bring the shine back to it. And Sabre it's really interesting one to me. It's really tied to the airline business. I was talking with Sue a little bit about it. She used to be a flight attendant, so she kind of gave me a little bit of the insight to it. It's a legacy software, and the airlines can't change it without like shutting everything down for a long period of time. And if they haven't done that yet, then this software is going to be there to stay. It's been losing money like really badly, but it still keeps last time it had a negative surprise, but it still jumped. I'm watching that one. I think after the earnings are finished with that, I might take up a stake in it and see if the prospects of recovery start driving that stock higher again. There's another stock that's on my radar too, and that's TRIP, TRIPadvisor. I cannot figure out why this stock is trading at its 52-week high. It's got earnings coming out on the 18th. Who in the hell is using TripAdvisor right now?
Well, I have some insight into that.
Yeah.
Because I work at a hotel. Everybody is so fatigued from staying at home and quarantining that they just said, fuck it, and they're all traveling again.
Okay.
The hotel I'm working at we were seeing like 30 to 40% capacity, which is not where you want to be at a hotel that wants to be solvent to making money. And this past 2 weeks, I've seen it go from 30 to 40% up to 60 to 90%. Like last night, we almost sold out.
Huh, okay. People are still using it.
Yeah, I think it's quarantine fatigue. I think it's quarantine fatigue, and I think people are all traveling again because, like I said, they're just like, we've made it this long, fuck it.
All right, well, let's go through the earnings here real quick, then we'll wrap this segment up. So on the 16th, as already mentioned, we got Palantir, PLTR, QS, Westwater Resources, WWR, and then Sabre, SABR. On the 17th, we've got TXG, the one you mentioned earlier, Fastly, FSLY, TSEM, MX, and Reuter. TSEM was another semiconductor one. I don't remember what MX was. Magnachip Semiconductor. So there's a couple of semiconductor earnings statements coming out. Reuter I threw in there just because there's a huge ammo shortage going on.
Yeah.
Typically when the ammo shortages were going on, then the gun companies are obviously doing well because people are stocking up, expecting, in this scenario, I think they're expecting some legislation from the Democrat-controlled House.
Oh, I was going to go darker and say they're expecting civil war, but yeah, look, continue.
Maybe that too. On the 18th, we've got Hormel and TripAdvisor, and that pretty much wraps up the ones that kind of piqued my interest.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but in there you said TXG
Yep, TXG
is about to report earnings?
Yep, on the 17th.
What the 17th? Okay, well, I know I'm going to buy more of them.
Seems like it has to be a really good earnings, though, when those stocks are trading at their all-time highs in order for it to pop. That's one that you need to be watching.
Oh, I'm going to sell it before earnings.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going to sell it before earnings. You know me. I just like to ride that anticipation. I don't want to make the actual bet. I don't trust the market to respond. It's not binary. It's not great earnings goes up, bad earnings go down.
No, as we saw with Sabre had terrible earnings and still went up.
Right. Yeah, like I'm not rolling those dice, but I'll definitely roll the dice that people get excited before the call.
Yeah.
And they move into a position. Yeah.
All right, should we move into some options?
I think we're about there. First, I would like to take a moment. Two Bulls in a China Shop is brought to you by Sue Pullen at Fairway Independent Mortgage, an equal housing lender. Sue is a certified mortgage advisor who focuses on finding the right product for you and your needs. She's got over 20 years of experience and has helped thousands of homeowners. Whether it's purchasing, refinancing, or even a reverse mortgage, Sue will help. She's licensed in 25 states and growing. So reach on out to her, see what she can do for you. If you're in the market for a new home or you want to refinance the one you got, Sue is your lady. Best way to reach her, just give her a call, 520-977-7904. Or you can hit her up in an email, spullen@fairwaymc.com. That phone number again is 520-977-7904. And that email is spullen@fairwaymc.com. Fairway Independent Mortgage has an MLS number of 2289. Sue Pullen has an MLS number of 206048. Reach out, see what Sue could do for you. She'll take care of all your mortgage needs. We also have to talk about Passive.com for losing that bet to the wonderful Nick McCullum. Kyle, you want to tell us a little bit about Passive?
Passive is a way for you to turn your brokerage account into a modern portfolio management tool. You can use it to build your own personalized index, invest, and rebalance with the click of a button, and seamlessly manage multiple accounts.
Automated tool for playing and balancing your portfolio. You tell it what you want, and it'll take care of all the math and set up all the trades for you. And all you got to click is, I want to make that trade. Yeah, I want to make that trade.
They are integrated with TD Ameritrade. That's our broker of choice. And then they're also real big in Canada.
All right. I think that, Kyle, that brings us up to talking about some options.
It does.
You got to know when to hold 'em, know when to sold 'em, know when to walk away. Those calls are done, you never count your money. When you're holding on to contracts, there'll be time enough for counting when the options exercise.
Got to know when to sold them.
You want to go first and talk about your experiences this week?
Oh, God. Yeah, I guess so. I did a lot in options. The first thing I did is I started the week, I bought calls in Budweiser, Anheuser-Busch, Bud, B-U-D, and Main Capital, M-A-I-N, and both went down, and I sold them the next day. I bought my Bud calls at 135, sold them the next day at 104 for a 23% loss because it hit I give myself 20-25% stop loss. That was my plan that I'd laid out. And then I got jittery, and Maine was down. They dipped below 20%. I had bought them Monday at 40 cents a contract, and they dipped down below 30, and then dipped back up. They popped back up, and I got panicky, and I sold them at 33 cents for a 17.5% loss. Now, Budweiser ended the week. I bought those for 135, sold at 104. They ended the week at 65 cents. So that was good because I got out of 23%, and they're currently at down 52%. Maine, I shouldn't have panicked because they ended the week up. They're currently at 65 cents a share. A contract. And I had bought them for 40 and ended up selling them at 33. So I was right to move out of Bud. I was wrong to move out of Maine. And to me, the big difference looking at it on paper was I didn't follow my thing. Like they by moving up, I didn't trust it. I didn't wait. I didn't give it the time to keep moving back up.
Right.
I did see some big successes. I bought some MJ calls, $25 strike. I bought them for $2.50. Ended up selling them for $5.10.
Nice.
Gotta love those over 100% fucking profits. Yeah. And then I moved into $30 strike price. Bought the coupons at $2.90, sold them at $4.80 for a 66% gain. And then I fucked up. That one thing I did right was I took a chunk of those gains and I moved them out of MJ into other options. Okay. So I did that right. Yeah. But the options I picked were wrong. But I also moved back into MJ. I bought some more $30 calls. They've been dropping, and I was like, okay, they're about to turn around. I wasn't fully educated on what was happening with Tilray, or I really don't think I would have made this choice. I bought some $30 calls at $4.75, and I still have them. Oh no! And they're currently at $1.70. So I'm holding on a 65% loss on my barrel of MJ money that I'm using to try and get rich off marijuana in 2020 is really not looking good now. Those are March expiration, so I'm not expecting those to. I don't expect MJ to get to $35 by March anymore. I got that gold rush fever and really made a bad call. Yeah,
now you're stuck hoping for at least enough of a rebound to salvage some of it.
Right, exactly. I want to try and get that to a 40% loss. How sad is that? Like that's where I'm at. I'm hopeful to limit my losses to 40%. When I moved that money out of MJ, I bought some Sprouts Farmers Market. They've got earnings coming up on the 25th. I bought some $22.50 strike price when they were at 23. Mm-hmm. I bought those for $1.80. The stock has moved down. They're at like 22 now. So those are only worth $1.07. That is a 41% loss. I didn't sell at 20% because I was so sad and demoralized. I thought, if I just hold it, maybe it is my timing. I'll just keep holding it, and it just keeps dropping.
When's the expiration on those?
Also March.
Okay.
March 19th or 18th or 19th, whatever that Friday is. And then I moved back into Target calls. I bought them at again middle of March expiration. All of these middle of March, by the way. I bought them at $5.35 a contract. They're currently at $4.75, but it seems that Target's finished its dip and gone back to moving up because it was down 20% at one point.
Yeah, I was keeping a close eye on Target. Yeah,
but it looks like it's turned around. I'm actually feeling really good about those calls, even though they're currently down 12%. So I'm hoping Sprouts next week turns around, though I'm not hopeful because looking at their chart and their momentum, I don't think it's likely.
Right.
And same thing with MJ. I actually think we're gonna see a slow bleed from marijuana stocks, and that ETF is gonna drop a bit before it goes back up. I actually, though I made a lot of money during the week, I ended the week slightly down 2%.
Still, it's not terrible. Could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, it could have been a lot worse. I did make a lot of money. So, and then I lost a lot of money. So, That's the game, right?
Yeah.
That's the game. Did you make any options calls?
Okay, so you remember last week I was talking about signing up for level 2 options on TD Ameritrade?
Yes.
I did. I got to use the fact that I have professional level knowledge. Is the way I ended up getting them, which I think is technically true, so I don't feel too bad about putting that on the form.
Technically correct. The best kind of correct.
I got approved on, I think, Tuesday, so I made my first move. I think it was right in the day before like the whole MJ craziness started, or it might have been right when it was just beginning. Okay, so I signed up for it on Monday. I got approved on Tuesday. I can't remember if I made this trade on Tuesday or Wednesday. Must have been Tuesday, like towards the end of the day. So I was looking at the $319, $29 MJ calls. I purchased a lot of those, and I sold an equal number of $319, $35 calls. And
okay.
By doing that, I was able to get the premium down. I think, what'd you pay for your $30 calls?
The first time I bought them, they were $2.90. The second time I bought them, they were $4.75.
The second time, okay, so that 4 something is about close to what the price was. I mean, it was somewhere between those two. It was around like 3 something. But by selling these other calls, I was able to get that premium down to about $170, I think. So I sold those $319.35s at $1.73, and then bought the 29s at, I think, for a net price of, I think it was about $170, $175. Okay, here's the problem with that now. So when everything was going crazy on Wednesday, I was kind of stuck. I couldn't sell my calls, even though they were from, like the 3-something that they were originally valued at up to almost 8 at one point. If I was to sell those and just try to take the profits there, I would have been stuck buying back the 35s, which also went up quite a bit. So my spread never really changed a whole lot. I think I maybe could have made about $500 when all was said and done if I would have bought the 35s back and sold the 29s. That was kind of disappointing to see that was the case. So I'm kind of stuck holding these now unless I can figure out another way to hedge myself again. I finally had the thought yesterday when I was putting all my list together, I could have bought some $40 calls just to further hedge and turn it from a bull spread call, I think you call that, into a bull spread put. No, wait, I don't think that term is quite right.
Bear spread? I don't know these terms.
Bear spread call, yeah. So because I have I basically have the 29 calls and I sold the 35s, that's a bull spread, bull spread call. I'm bullish on the stock. I cap my gains at $6 a share minus my premium, because if it goes up any higher than that, basically I'll be optioned off on the $35 calls, but I'll just sell my 29 calls at the 35.
Yes.
I could have just basically flipped that hedge around, bought some further out of the money calls, and turned it into a scenario where I'm hedging against a higher price, but hoping to make the money on the premium. That's about the only thing I really could have done in order to try to profit on the upcoming collapse that we all knew was going to happen.
So when you sell a contract, like when you're the one writing the contract, there's a big difference.
Yes.
We're going to have a big options episode coming up here. We'll get into all the nitty gritty for you folks. But there's a difference. When you're the one writing the coupon, you're creating it. Correct me if I'm wrong, Kyle, but you have to, like, somebody bought that from you, so you have to hold it until either you purchase one to swap it out or it expires, correct?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, I get the cash for the premium up front. So when I sold those $35 calls at $175, I got a credit to my account for writing those options, but now I have to have some kind of way to hedge myself, because the risk on that is unlimited unless I actually own the shares that I can then basically sell my share. That was one thing I was actually looking at as a strategy now that I can write these contracts. That is something that you can do, which is a covered call. Like say I've got 100 shares of Salesforce trading at $240. I mean, I could sell weeklies and then just be happy if, the price jumps up and I get to collect that price for my stock. But then I can also collect, the premium of selling that contract. Like I'd sell a $250 contract that expires at the end of the week, collect, the $1.50 premium on it. And then if I actually get to sell my shares at $250, I should be happy with that anyway, because it's $10 a share jump.
Right. It's win-win. That's a good setup.
The only thing that sucks is if it jumps up way past that and now you're stuck with selling your stock at much undervalued. This is a good strategy. It looks like if the markets are trading sideways or down, just another way to kind of collect a few. I mean, it doesn't look like it's going to be much as far as the premiums that you can collect selling, but
because somebody has to buy them.
It's another strategy I can look at that to try to just generate some extra income from some of these shares that I'm holding.
And since we're talking about different option strategies than we normally discuss, which is like I'm going to buy some calls and hope they go up. I promised on the Discord I would talking with Sean, and I promised I would mention an options move that Warren Buffett likes to use.
Okay.
I thought I'd share it with all of you. Warren Buffett likes to sell puts on a stock he wants to buy shares of.
Right.
So when you're writing a put contract, you're saying,
I will buy this.
Yes, I will buy 100 shares of this stock at this price, right?
Yep.
So Warren Buffett, when he wants to move into something long, he wants to make a long position, he'll start with selling a bunch of puts on that position. If the stock price goes down, in his opinion, I'm long on it anyway, and I was going to buy it today and not care where the price goes.
Right.
So if the price goes down and he's paying more than the value of the stock, he's picking a strike price that he's comfortable paying anyway. And he gets the premium from those options, and he puts that towards the purchase of the company. And again, and then because they're puts, if the price goes up,
he just gets the premium.
He just gets the premium, and it becomes a discount for the shares that he was long on.
Mm-hmm.
So it can be a really great way to move into a long position if you've got the capital and you've got options level 2 unlocked. You can sell those puts ahead of time as a way to move into the position that it's win-win, like Kyle's scenario there with buying a call and writing a call. In that you still get what you want, and there's a good chance that you got it cheaper than you would have.
Yep. No, that's good.
Because you collected those premiums.
Yeah, I'll definitely be taking a closer look at that. Yeah, I like it.
Apparently, Warren Buffett's a smart guy.
Right? Who'd have known? Thanks, Warren.
Who would have fucking thought? Yeah, right. Thank you, Warren.
All right.
All right. Do we have any options alerts to go over?
Let's go ahead and wrap up with that. Keeping with the theme of semiconductors, TSM, one of my personal favorites. July 16th, $140 calls at $15 a contract, $1.6 million bet.
Ooh, so that's one to follow.
That one's trading pretty close to that strike right now. I may actually look at doing another spread on that. That stock's just got, I don't know, a lot of momentum going for it, a lot of things going for it, especially with Intel now starting to source some of the products from them.
Semiconductors remains a hot industry to this day. Hot sector.
All right.
Industry sector.
Let's see. Next one, Sorrento Therapeutics, SRNE, 618, $10 calls at 6.8 a contract, 752,000. That one sticks out to me because I saw a thing come out, I don't know how long, it was a month or two ago, saying that the implied volatility of the $20 calls was some of the highest on the market. And they claim that that's a signal that the stock is in it. People are expecting a big move in it. That was back when the stock was trading at $10 a share. It's since climbed back up to around 15. So maybe there's something to those.
Wow.
To those alerts. I might start paying a little closer attention to them now. What was the next one? Sava, SAVA. This is a 120 at 2023 $30 call. These are trading $33 a contract. Someone put down $891,000.
Wow.
SWKS 219. So next week, $150 call at $35 a contract, $875,000. And one of your favorites, Farfetch, April 16, $40 call at $29.35 a contract, $1.4 million.
Wow. And $40 strike price. They're up around 70, aren't they? Sorry, 69.51.
So I think people might be looking at some of these lower ones. They're just they might be seeing something with the premiums that must be setting off a trigger, like you're getting a better value on it or something. So I don't know why you would buy something so deep in the money like that.
Yeah. It's because when I've done my research looking into it, the deeper in the money, the less it goes up, like the lower the delta.
Well, it's more reflective of the current share price, the closer it gets, or the deeper in the money it gets. Yeah. So, I mean, at that point, I guess maybe you're just buying shares at a discount then. That's all you're really doing. What's that sound, Dan?
What's that?
So what's that sound?
Oh, what is that sound? You actually got me with it that time. Oh, I gotta say, my good was all the money I made on MJ options.
I'm guessing your bad's going to be the same. Going to be what you lost on MJ options.
Well, it's one of the two.
My good's the only made the one trade because I was still finding myself. My perspective's kind of fucked up still with the craziness of the last of that. Short the
2 weeks
GameStop
of madness.
AMC. Yeah, 2 weeks of that, and then just still trying to come to grips with the losses, and then trying to flip my perspective to get it right to being happy with 5 to 10% gains again.
Yeah. Because 5-10% good gains.
I was able to test some ideas on paper to see if I was still making smart moves or not. And the good for me is that, yes, I am still making some good, savvy moves. Makes me that much more confident. And to me, confidence is everything in this game. You need to have faith in what you're doing and not second guessing yourself.
We play different games, my friend.
So what was your bad?
My bad was actually moving out of those main calls early because I had a plan. I had good reasons. And I didn't follow the plan, and I moved out of it early, and I would have ended the week up if I'd held those.
You would have just stuck with the plan.
If I just stuck with the plan. So that's definitely my bad. In a way, it's good because it reaffirms that, no, Dan, your plan, there's a reason you put those numbers together. There's a reason you made a plan that way. So it's bad because I didn't stick with it, but it does make me feel better about my plan.
My bad is I'm still carrying a margin balance right now, and I freaking hate that.
Yeah, I won't do it. I'm a cash trader.
Should be a little more honest, too, with myself. Part of the reason why I'm not making so many moves right now is that I just have everything tied up, and I don't want to sell anything.
There are worse positions to be in. Yeah, I'm a cash trader, man. I don't do the margins. The only time I do margin is when I make a deposit. If I make a deposit, I want to spend it that day. So I don't actually consider that to be the same as margin in terms of like, hey, we'll let you spend this much money on stocks even though you only have this much cash in your account. It's like, whoa, slow down, broker.
To be fair, my margin balance right now is like probably 0.01% of my total account value, so it's not a lot, but still annoying.
I look at it like a credit card, man. I don't want to buy stocks on a credit card.
I know, right?
Sorry.
What was your ugly?
Definitely my MJ losses at the end of the week. So it was good at the beginning of the week and ugly at the end of the week.
Yeah.
And really, I mean, I got caught with my pants down, even though I knew it was coming. I mean, Wednesday night, I had messaged you and was like, I'm going to move out of my fucking calls and I'm going to buy puts when I think the thing's about to pop. And I thought I would be doing that at the end of trading on Thursday. I did not know the pop was going to happen in pre-market Thursday. Yeah. And that just, oh man, that's ugly because I knew what to do. I had a plan. Oh, I was going to follow that plan. And if I'd managed to do it, if things had held on for just a few hours, I'd be really pretty.
Oh yeah.
But I'm not. I'm not. It's ugly. What was your ugly?
Sometimes it's good to have your ego slapped back down into place. Speaking of which, that's my ugly is Virgin Galactic give me false hope on Thursday. Those assholes.
Oh yeah. Oh, it looks so good too. It was really
it was going right to plan. Man, if they would have had that successful test flight, I was watching for 70.
Yeah.
Instead, no, right back below where we started.
Gotta buy more now.
I do. I need to get some money in my account. Free something up.
Right.
What do you sell, though? I've got...
Pawn something.
I don't want to sell anything.
Yeah, I know the feeling. Yeah. I'm holding some options that I'm like, I want to put this money somewhere else. No, I can't realize that loss. Gotta wait
right?
I gotta wait for a better loss.
Yes. All right. Let's wrap this thing up.
Right. Is it time for a bet?
Yes.
I think it's time for a bet.
Stocks. They're the center of a universe. us. Consequence for one of us. Make our picks with no regret. Every open, every close, every spread. It's the mighty bet.
All right. Well, I'm getting used to listening to you go first, my friend.
Well, I thought I was going to be holding on to space. I still kind of want to, but man, I really want to pick QuantumScape.
Yeah?
Really want to pick QuantumScape. Oh, man. Yeah. I'm going to go with QuantumScape. This month is already out for me, so I might as well at least try to beat the random stock.
Well, I'm going to do something that I learned from watching you.
Oh, no.
My pick is space. SPCE.
You bastard. You son of a bitch. Oh, you're such a dick.
Oh, I know. And the best thing is I'm actually confident that by the end of next week they'll have turned around. Oh, you watch.
I am too. God damn it. I just don't want to be holding it for 3 weeks in a row. It just feels lame.
So you know, if it goes down, I actually still have some room to try and win. So I was going to pick
room.
I was going to pick MU. Listeners, if I wasn't being petty, MU was my bet pick because it's where my money is. I'm seeing good things. But for the sake of the show, I'm Virgin Galactic. Final answer.
You're in my head.
I learned it from listening to you.
Yes.
I didn't come up with that out of nothing.
Whew. I know. I guess it's good for the goose is good for the gander.
Right.
All right. Let's see what we're going up against.
On the plus side, I'm now very excited to get to next week. I want to know. I want to know now. All right. Yeah. What's our random? What are we going up against?
All right. Here we go. That's interesting. What AMCX? AMC Network CIA? Is that a real one?
Yeah, it's an American entertainment company in New York. Operates cable channels, AMC, American Movie Classics, IFC, WeTV, BBC America, Sundance TV.
A lot of short interest on them, too. Fuck. You might want to take your bet seriously. This one's got a lot of momentum.
Yeah? Well, I'm going to have to load up my charts on Ameritrade here real quick. I know it had a good Friday. 5%.
Had a good January. Let's say they just filed a 13G from LSV Asset Management, shows a new 8% stake in the company. They just announced a partnership with Shaftesbury.
Well, I mean, I'm not changing my bet pick because a random stock came up.
I might actually buy some of this company.
Really?
Yeah, I think I might.
Well, it does look like their MACD is turning and it's about to signal. So I do agree we could be in for it. We're still a ways from that divergence, but the momentum has shifted the other way. Like it's no longer dropping out. Looking at the on balance volume, yeah, we've got some
average
good peaks.
Of 1.5. Institutional ownership over 140%.
Okay, yeah, yep.
Hey, this one might be scary.
All right. Well, there you go, folks. There's a random stock you might like.
Better than anything we picked, it looks like.
Well, we'll see. Well, we'll stay tuned. We'll find out in the next adventures in the China shop. Whew. All right.
Oh, my God. All right. Done?
I think that about wraps it up. Folks, if you like our show, please let us know by rating and subscribing on your platform of choice. If you like our show and hate social media, then just tell your friends. And if you have no friends and hate social media, and you want to just give us money to pay for advertising to help you find more friends, we can do that too. You can donate at our PayPal link in the episode description. And remember, it's a big shop. There's room for everybody. Let everybody know. Come on and join us. The more, the merrier. And we just love that you're here. Kyle?
Woo! Yes. Sorry, I thought we were done.
Yeah, you're not going to say goodbye. Our listeners, they depend on it. They hang on your every word.
No. All right. Bye, folks.
Oh, happy trades, folks. Happy trades.
Have a good one.
Two Bulls in a China Shop is an entertainment program, and all thoughts and opinions expressed in the show belong to the hosts and not of any company. They are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual or on any specific security or investment product. It is only intended to provide entertainment about stocks and the financial industry of trading. If you make trades based on what you hear in this show, you assume all risks for those trades.